Welcome back to Game Points. I am your host, Matthew Ross. We're here till 7 o'clock tonight. Still to come tonight here on the program. Later on this hour, we'll have from your Montreal Alouettes, S.J. Green will join us. But right now, we are chatting with somebody who is a fan of this former program from the 80s. Yeesh. You can find him on twitter.com/EricOnSportsLaw. He's also a host on TSN 1200 in Ottawa and a TSN Legal analyst as well. It's Eric Macramella. How you doing, Eric?
Hey, Matt. Love the song. I think that's the theme song in Growing Pains. I think is top 5. You got WKRP. You got Full House.
Cheers.
Perfect Strangers. Who's the Boss? You know what? Cheers is good, but I'm thinking about classics, and I think that's a bit. To me, that's like my top 1 or 2. I love it.
Wow. All right. Fair enough. Now, just to update people out there, the Warriors are well in front right now of the Clippers in Golden State tonight. But, Eric, obviously a terrible story coming out about the owner, Donald Sterling, and you've certainly had your thoughts public on this so far. Your take on the situation as it sits right now and what the ramifications are for the NBA and the NBAPA, et cetera.
Yeah, I've got an article up at TSN, but sort of getting at the whole point here. The first thing is the NBA is doing the right thing. I understand the emotional reaction to what are despicable comments allegedly made by Sterling. And I say allegedly because the person that submitted the tape is his ex-girlfriend, who is being sued by the Sterling family for $1.8 million for embezzling cash, cars, and other properties. I can't speak to the merits of the lawsuit, but that's the context. That's the narrative. So the NBA is doing the right thing here by first launching an investigation. Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, said all the right things. This is despicable. It is, quote, disturbing. But at the same time, there's due process afforded an owner of an NBA team, and that due process has to run its course. And what that means is, number one, authenticating that recording. And that means confirming that it's indeed Sterling's voice, number one, and number two, that the tape wasn't doctored. That's not entirely easy to do because you need the ex-girlfriend's cooperation, but to date, she hasn't wanted to cooperate, mainly because there's pending a lawsuit against her being filed by the Sterling family. So that's the first thing, is that they are doing the right thing by seeking to authenticate that recording. And then moving forward, Matt, they're going to decide what types of punishments to impose on Sterling, assuming the voice is his and assuming the tape wasn't doctored.
Now, I've seen some reports talking about how the recourse for the NBA, they cannot remove him as an owner in any way, even after all of that is verified, or if it is, that the best they can do is maybe suspend for a year or two. Mo off air reminded me of the situation in the late 80s, I think it was, Mo.
March shot
the owner of the Reds, after some comments she made, and she was suspended for a little bit. But why not, if you're the NBA, when you have 90% of your players are obviously are African American, you're deep rooted in the culture. Why not make a statement, even if it's a fruitless foray into trying to remove him as owner or something like that, after all of the proof has been shown? Why not just keep up appearances or make a statement saying we're going to try and go ahead, and then obviously it would peter out?
Statements, Matthew, are awfully expensive to make when you're filing lawsuits, and you only engage in lawsuits if you believe the case has merit, and it's not a PR move if you're a plaintiff. Maybe for a guy like A-Rod, suing could be a PR move, but that's it. Mark Schott, she was suspended for a year in 1992 after she made racially insensitive comments and also made favorable comments about Hitler. She was suspended for 2 years in 1996 by Major League Baseball after making further racially insensitive comments. Baseball, among all the four sports, arguably has the most power to force someone to sell a team, because in their constitution there's a term that says the commissioner can act in, quote, the best interest of baseball. No other league has that, and they still couldn't force Schott to sell the team. You're right. A substantial population, the NBA population, is black. 76.3% of the population is African American, and 80.1% of the population is of color. So a statement needs to be made, but it's not going to be a lawsuit. The thing is, you can't force Sterling to sell the Clippers. If you do that, you will be met with an antitrust lawsuit, which comes with massive monetary damages. That's a big money award against the NBA if they're unsuccessful. And the NBA is aware of that. So you still have to act within the confines of your rules, of your constitution, of your bylaws. So either the NBA Constitution, while not public, does provide that they can force someone to sell a team, but only under the circumstance where that team is having serious financial issues. And they can take trusteeship of that team. We saw that with Major League Baseball and the Dodgers and Frank McCourt. But you're not going to be able to force someone to sell a team based upon racial slurs. You've created a legal framework around your league, and you have to respect it.
Now, in terms of the players themselves, coming out of warm-up today, they reversed their shirts and didn't have the logo, just red. They threw up, what was it, to Sean Coleman? They threw their warm-up items in the middle?
The warm-up items in the center of the court and then turned their shirts inside out for the warm-up.
Now, obviously, you wouldn't guess that the NBA would fine them for that, would you?
No, I mean, I don't expect the NBA would fine them for that because that would obviously be counterproductive. What they're making is a peaceful, amounts to a peaceful demonstration, civil disobedience, so to speak, and that is respected across the U.S. and across Canada. The issue is, apart from that, what else can you do? I mean, Chris Paul is the president of the NBPA, and he plays for the Clippers. But what else can you do? Well, you're not going to sit out a game. You're not going to sit. These are your playoff games. They're important. Why would you penalize yourself just because your owner is potentially an idiot? I say potentially again because now they're just merely allegations. Nothing's been confirmed. We have to respect the process, respect due process, because that is a fundamental tenet of our judicial system, and that is that people be treated fairly even if they have said despicable things. But apart from that, guys, I don't see what else the players can do other than voice their displeasure and be patient and wait for this to run its course. If those are still his comments, he will be dealt with, I think, in a very firm manner. He will not be expelled, but firmly dealt with.
Eric, you spoke briefly a little bit about the league's actions and what the league may do, but can you expand?
I can barely hear you.
Can you expand a little bit maybe there on what action you think the Players Association or what the Players Association's role will be in the developments?
This is an NBA issue. It's an issue that involves one of its owners. It doesn't involve a player. The NBPA mandate is to look out for the best interest of its players. And right now, none are being harmed financially. This isn't the best situation for them. But frankly, at this point, it doesn't concern them too much. The NBA is going to investigate, and the NBA is going to punish. And the NBPA should be vocal about it. But ultimately, guys, it's not their business.
He is Eric Macramella. You can follow him on twitter.com/EricOnSportsLaw. He is a TSN legal analyst and, of course, on TSN 1200 in Ottawa as well. Eric, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, Matt. Take care, and great job with the Expos, buddy. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. There you go. That's Eric Macramella, and obviously a big Expos fan, or was.